The first season of FC 24 Ultimate Team has finally ended, and that does mean that season 2 now begins, except there's a few slight differences, and in today's video we're going to be breaking down everything and also highlighting how you can progress through this with ease. But before we do get into the video, if you want to go through season 2 with a bit of style, then there is no better place than U4GM. They offer cheap, fast and reliable FC 24 coins so you can build your dream team. There is a link in the description down below, and if you use Fanatic at checkout, you'll also get yourself a 5% discount. Thank you U4GM for sponsoring today's video. Season 1 of FC 24 took us all the way from the very first day of Ultimate Team, either being the Standard Edition, the 29th, or you got it a week early on the 22nd with the Ultimate Edition, all the way up through to the end of October. That was a full season. Season 2 is slightly different in that now it's going to be half the time. So this one is only lasting 21 days, just 3 weeks. And that's because EA have decided to break this season up. This season is called Season 2 Act 1 Triangles. And instead of needing the full 40 levels for you to rank up to reach your maximum rank, this time you're only going to need to get to level 20, which is 20,000 XP in total. And even though that may sound like a lot, it really isn't. This is because XP this year is really easy to grind through. If you were to go over to your seasonal objectives, you will be able to go and find your daily objectives, which will give XP every single day. You'll then have your weekly objectives, which are also fairly easy to go through. And in a lot of cases, you can complete this way before the week ends, with each of those challenges giving you 125 XP, plus you still get the bonus. And then we also cannot forget that you have your weekly gameplay objectives, which will give you 300 XP for every single challenge you complete, plus a 500 XP bonus. And this is just on a base level, as what we would expect on a daily as well as weekly basis. But on top of this, EA will be adding additional challenges, one of which is already there, which is called FC Founder. And as long as you use the FC Founder home kit, you will be able to go through, play these matches, complete these challenges, and be rewarded 300 XP for every single challenge, and then 500 for the final bonus. In total, you'll be able to get 6,875 XP just by completing these challenges. That's your daily for 7 days in a row, your weekly objectives, your weekly gameplay, and also your FC Founder, all of which is relatively easy to do. Arguably the most challenging one is weekly gameplay, just because it requires you to play 25 games. And for myself, it can be somewhat challenging just because I need to find the time to play 25 games. And that's not including the game modes in which you will be going through, because you will be rewarded with XP depending what you play. With the likes of friendlies and moments, you don't really get anything, unless there are already challenges as part of objectives that you will need to complete, which will reward you with XP. At the time being, there really isn't anything. But with other game modes such as Division Rivals, Squad Battles, and also Champions, you get rewarded as part of your rewards when they do finally get paid out, whether that be immediate by completing playoffs and finals, or whether that being part of the weekly reward payouts. Now, why do we actually want to go through all of this? Well, mainly because the team that I've been able to build for the whole of last month are all first owner untradable players, and the best players were packed through objective rewards. And this time around with Season 2 Act 1, the rewards are still relatively good considering you need to get less levels and less XP in total. Of course, as you do go through, you'll see that there's still quite a few club items with kits, badges, and also some stadium tifos, but once you do finally get to that final page, you can see that you're able to have a choice of either Iwobi, Witzel, or Karsdorp. But also the packs on offer here, you can get an 84 plus times 2, an 81 plus times 11, an 85 plus times 2, and then a choice between an 86 plus times 3 or an 87 plus times 2. With these, even though it is still down to chance of you getting something good, but based on these ratings that it's allowing you to have and also the quantity, chances are you're going to get someone good. You actually have to be incredibly unlucky not to get a good player from this. And this is all just under your seasonal progress, because alongside going through all of this, you don't just want to skip out on everything else. Of course, if you have very limited time, I would much prefer you to go through your season progress in order for you to claim these rewards. They just tend to be better overall. It does take a bit more time and you need to be putting in a bit more of a grind, but it's better than going for some of these smaller pack rewards in my opinion. But for most of you, you do have the time and you will be able to stack these rewards as you go through. You complete your season progress as you grind XP from your seasonal objectives, but also take a look at what you have under live, because EA will continue to add challenges just like what they did last season. And this is where you may just be required to play a certain amount of games or go through and win a certain amount of games. Sometimes it may require you to play a certain amount of games whilst using a player from a specific league. All of this is very easy, and as your seasonal rewards do not require you to play with specific nationalities or leagues, means that as long as you're playing the game with the kits that are enabled, you'll be able to claim your XP. Plus on top of that, if you build your team to fit the objectives under live, you'll easily be able to get additional packs on top. These packs aren't as good, but they're still okay. You may get a few 75 plus player packs, but it could potentially go up to an 83 plus player pack, really dependent on the overall challenge and what's involved. And whilst doing all of this, just naturally as time goes on, you will complete your milestone objectives. Your milestones aren't really worth taking a look at and trying to grind, because most of the time it completes 100 SBCs or to go and play a certain amount of games in a specific game mode. Not something that you can quickly understand and then rapidly go through that challenge by grinding out. However, it is something that will naturally be completed as you keep on playing this game. And maybe season 2 act 1 is going to be that point in where you finally get a certain amount of assists, which unlocks a reward. But also with most of these milestone rewards, you get different types of club items to put within your stadium, or maybe 1,500 coins depending what it is. Not that many of them offer packs. So this is exactly what you must be doing to progress through season 2. I'm not sure what other content EA is going to release, whether that be through SBCs or other objectives, and potentially some of those objectives will reward you with additional XP, but even if they don't, and to be honest, they probably will, but as we don't know what it is right now, as long as you go through what we've highlighted within today's video, it will be more than enough over the next 3 weeks for you to grind up to 20,000 XP and get some really good packs. We're talking about all of these being worth more than 200,000 coins. Yes, they're untradable, but out of that, what you do with untradable players really can still be profitable. They're either going to fit into your team because they are solid, good, well-rounded players and will give you a competitive edge, in which it saves you coins of having to buy those players, or you can go and use them for SBCs to gradually upgrade to more desirable players, whether that be player of the month or any of the other promos. Speaking of which, we do already have a video here on this channel which goes through how you can always profit from untradable players. Just because you can't sell them on the transfer market doesn't mean you can't make coins out of them. So if you want to see that video is now available on screen. Click that and I'll be over there to guide you through absolutely everything. I hope you enjoy.